The future of Star Trek is in doubt. Will Secret Hideout really get a new deal? Well, shocking revelations from our insiders are telling us that not only might they get a new deal, Skydance and Paramount bosses have already drawn up a contract proposal. It looks like the worst might really happen. Alex Kurtzman might continue to be the face of Star Trek. Welcome to the Tachyon Pulse podcast.
Our tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.
There's going to be a lot of people, a lot of Trekkies out there that are very, very unhappy to find out this information. Our sources over at Skydance and Paramount do work more on the business side of things. So they not only may have seen this contract proposal, they may or may not have worked on it at different times. So I can tell you that this really isn't a rumour. This is nailed on. That Skydance have been preparing a proposal for Secret Hideout for the future of Star Trek. Now, before I tell you what is in that proposal, because I do know a rough overview, I'm going to explain to you how this has happened. Skydance were not supposed to be sort of taking over at Paramount, but the evidence shows that they've definitely been working with Paramount bosses to negotiate certain things. It might have been quite informally, but it's definitely happened. We got an announcement about South Park, and that the South Park guys were getting a lot of money to keep South Park on Paramount Plus, not just for new South Park shows, but the backdated catalogue as well. That deal was for several years and really keep South Park with Paramount Plus. I think it was about £1 billion. Now, they don't get all that money in one hit. It's paid over installments sort of thing over the period of the contract, but it's still a lot of money for one of Paramount's biggest shows that is like that. It has got a cultural impact, South Park, whether you love it or hate it. We also now know that they've negotiated a deal with UFC, and that the Ultimate Fighting Championship will also be coming to Paramount Plus. They have again paid a ton of money to get UFC exclusively on Paramount Plus for the next 7 years. Both of these deals were negotiated by Skydance on one level or another. And it seems that even though we told you that Skydance was reviewing all of the franchises over at Paramount Plus, that this is further evidence that they've actually gone a bit further than that and actually started doing a lot of the groundwork and even negotiating some deals. I'm now being told that even though they want a deal announced and public by Christmas, which is something I've told you several times, they're actually being far more aggressive than we realised, and that they've actually got a proposal put together. And it's not just a proposal, it's actually a contract. That really is serious, because the contract that they've put together, the offer that they've put together, has not been in contact with Secret Hideout. They have not negotiated it. What I'm being told is that even though there may be some negotiation on the finer points of things, that if Secret Hideout come back with serious proposals regarding this contract, Skydance's, and obviously now Paramount's position, is that this really is a take it or leave it deal. That the way I see it, and this is just my opinion now, but the way I see it is, we know Skydance has been very unhappy with certain creative decisions. For example, Section 31. That we know they know Alex Kurtzman very well, and that they don't have 100% trust in him. So I think this is basically a look, we've got other more important things to do. If we can strike a deal, we want to do it very quickly. Otherwise, we want to get a plan B. We want to know how to move forwards. And that if we do get a new deal, it's not going to be as favourable as the one you've had. So what is in the actual contract? Well, again, as I said, I only know a rough overview, but it's kind of what we've been telling you for a while. That Skydance and Paramount now want to wrestle a lot of that creative control back from Secret Hideout. That they don't want them to have an exclusivity deal anymore. That basically it will be a first look sort of deal, kind of like what Bad Robot has got with Warner Brothers. That Bad Robot doesn't have any exclusivity over any particular franchise, but they've basically said, look, you work for Warner Brothers, pitch us, and, we want you to exclusively work for us. That seems to be more what they're planning, and they want to really encourage Secret Hideout to do other things other than Star Trek, but they will not have an exclusive Star Trek deal. That deal now will mean that Skydance Paramount can, if they want, negotiate other Star Trek shows with other creators and do something really by cutting Secret Hideout out. As I said, they want to encourage Secret Hideout to do other things, other movies, etc. I mean, Alex Kurtzman has written some brilliant scripts over the years. He just has. And they want to encourage more of that rather than just focusing on Star Trek. They want to basically have more options with Star Trek. Skydance, that is. So, they will be some sort of first look deal. They will probably greenlight certain shows, but Secret Hideout will then only be paid for those shows. They will not get this massive sort of upfront fee that they've been getting in the past. It seems to me that Paramount are really playing hardball with this. That it's almost like, if they do it Star Trek for the next few years, as long as we've got a load more power and control over what gets done, particularly creative control, then so be it. And I think that for all the mistakes Alex Kurtzman has made, they have made some really nice Star Trek as well. I mean, Strange New Worlds is a bit up and down, but the last 2 episodes of Strange New Worlds have actually been really good. And production-wise, I've told you guys loads of times, production-wise, I actually think Star Trek is beautiful. And that, we've had some rubbish, Discovery, particularly season 1, but we've had some brilliant stuff as well. Picard season 3, Lower Decks, Prodigy. I can see a new deal that Paramount really can take back the reins of Star Trek, and even though they may not completely cut Secret Hideout off, they're really going to put a leash around their neck and make sure that the mistakes of the last few years aren't repeated. If you want to hear more exclusive insider information regarding Star Trek and other franchises, don't forget to like and subscribe this video. But I really want you guys to get into the comments now and tell me exactly what you think about this news. It's going to disappoint a lot of you. But if the deal really is what it's sounding like and Secret Hideout don't negotiate their way out of it, is that something that we could live with? If basically Paramount take over a lot of the creative stuff and basically can veto things more often, could that mean we get a good show in the end? I'm going to think here about Tim Burton, and follow me for a second because I'm going to wander. This is going to be a proper weave here. Tim Burton did Batman, the first Batman with Michael Keaton, and it was bloody brilliant. But it was obviously a very, very profitable movie. So, for the second Batman movie, they really let Tim Burton do what they wanted. They thought, this man's a genius, we'll trust him. And we got the Batman with the Penguin and Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. Okay, that was a highlight of the movie. But generally, this was very dark and very much a Tim Burton film. They let the leash off and trusted him, and it backfired. Another example, Taika Waititi. He did Ragnarok, where Marvel had far more control over what was done, and they sort of held a bit of the Taika back. That movie was one of the best movies that actually Marvel had done to that point, so they let the leash off. They let Taika do whatever he wanted with the next Thor movie, and we got Love and Thunder, which was just basically Taika Waititi throwing up all over the Marvel franchise. If Paramount can put the leash back on Secret Hideout, maybe that can be a good thing. But get into the comments and tell me exactly what you think. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. It really helps us out and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can become a member of the channel and get to see a lot of these videos before everybody else. Go check that out. As always, please stay safe, don't be too disappointed, and I'll see you next time.
Our tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.